What up, what up, what up? What up, Knicks win, let's go. Let's go. 3-game losing streak snapped today, man. The Knicks beat the Spurs. I was a little bit nervous. I'll be here, man. Shout out to the people who watched the post-game show on YouTube. The YouTube is down. Not the YouTube, but my computer is down. So we're going to do this post-game show on IG Live for the first time in a long time. I know I used to do these IG Lives all the time before, but we're going to bring it back today, at least until things get situated with my computer. Ryan G. Good win, man. Really great win.
Yo.
What up? All right. Should I do the official KOT intro?
Might as well. The only thing different is the format. That's about it.
All right, here we go. What's going on? It's your JLS for the Nick of Time show. Here, give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to break down this game, Knicks versus Spurs. After a 3-game losing streak, the Knicks snap out of it and beat the Spurs 121 to 109. And we didn't have a big game statistically, at least when it comes to points from Julius Randle, but he had a good game today. But I really want to start off this whole game talking about a Bodman himself, Bodman Barrett.
Yes, sir.
32 points on the night. Career high, 7 threes, 7 of 8 from 3, 32 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, gives you 5 rebounds on the night. Really good job by RJ Barrett. Mitchell Robinson, who didn't start the game today, he came off the bench. Gave you 11 points, 14 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 blocks. The offensive rebounds, though, 8 offensive rebounds on the night for Mitch Robinson, who looked really energized coming off the bench. Also had some good moments from, like I said, Julius Randle, 15 points, and only really focused on facilitating tonight with 8 assists. And we also have, of course, some spot nice moments from Emmanuel Quickly, gives you 16, and Derrick Rose, who gives you 12. All right. Let's talk about certain things, Ryan. Listen. Before the game started, there were rumors going around about potential lineup changes. I think some people might have thought it was RJ Barrett because he's been in the slump lately, and the coach kind of called them out in the post game. A couple of last game, even though he kind of took it back to them afterwards. All in all, though, the switch ended up being Nerlens Noel for Mitchell Robinson. You know, Mitchell Robinson, he hasn't been giving you a lot of good minutes for long stretches of time. And it seems like he might fit better with that first unit overall. It might be Mitch fits better with that second unit. So what do you think about the move today, Ryan? Do you feel like this was the right move? Do you feel like Mitch is better with the second unit rather than the first unit? Or maybe is this just an anomaly?
Well, first and foremost, I want to start off by saying that, I don't want to jump the gun yet because it's just one game and it's impossible to know whether a move is right or not just based off one game. You would have to see Noel in the starting lineup consistently and Robinson coming off the bench consistently to really know whether it's the right move or not. But based on one game, I think I can see why Thibs put Noel in the starting lineup and have Mitch come off the bench, because if you've been watching Mitch lately, Mitch has definitely been struggling off the pick and roll, and whenever the big is a shooter, it makes the Knicks mess up their rotations to where the other team's getting an open 3-pointer.
Yeah.
So by Thibs putting in Noel instead of Mitch, Noel kind of tightens the rotations because Noel's quick on his feet. So when the Spurs had to pick and roll with Noel was quicker to close out that space. Which kind of eliminated, the ball moving around and the Spurs getting that open 3. So I can see why Thibs made that move to begin with. And then with Mitch coming off the bench, Mitch is, to me, Mitch is a starter in the league. So with Mitch coming off the bench now, he's just dominating these backup centers by getting rebounds, putbacks, and things of that nature. So right now, this seems like it's a really good move, and that I think Thibs need to stick with this for a while because you could already see a dramatic difference with how the first unit is with Noel in there closing
Yeah.
those gaps with the rotations and how Mitch is just dominating whoever the second unit big man is for the other team.
Yeah, absolutely. It does seem like, well, in general, when I saw Noel in the game, he seems like he rotates. He rotates a lot quicker than Mitch does, and Mitch has gained some weight, and it helps when Mitch plays these bigger centers. But when it comes to these quicker guys, Noel is definitely the better option on that in that regard. Also, some numbers that I ripped from Twitter. Five-man rotation defensive numbers, or net numbers rather. Kemba Walker, R.J. Barrett, Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, negative 5.9 net rating for those starting fives. Compared to Noel, switch out Noel for Mitch with that staying starting five, they're a plus 3.8. So that one switch, it seems like he already works better with that starting unit. Of course, that starting unit has a lot more minutes, so we need a lot more data to see how that really pans out over a long period of time. But small sample size, it seems like Noel might fit better with that first unit. And what I liked about today's game too, Mitch's fit with the second unit just makes more sense to me right now, because how many times, Ryan, have we seen Mitch run down the floor, throw a hand up, and none of the guards passing the ball?
It's true. It's true.
Today, when the Knicks went on that run, I actually saw Rose feed him the ball in the post for maybe the second time all season. And it's not like Mitch hasn't been open in the post, but he's been able to be a beneficiary of these Rose passes in the post because we have more of a passing point guard. So by default, Mitch is just looking better because he's getting those easier baskets, posting these young, smaller guys on the mismatches, which the second unit does a really good job of recognizing that off the rip. Also, it just seems like that second unit also has a lot more dribble penetration. So you saw the stats: 8 offensive rebounds on the night, with Derrick Rose penetrating and missing was a lot of easy cleanup for Mitch. He was able to pad his stats and get to a double-double at halftime. So another pro for having Mitch with this second unit. Now, obviously, tonight I feel like it might be a little different because when we play these bigger centers, I would still love to have Mitch play the bigger centers if the bigger centers are starting. But tonight, where the center is not super dominant, I think we can hold our own with Noel in the first unit.
Yeah, and I think because the Spurs aren't really a big team on top of that, and that's why Mitch was also able to dominate as well, and that's why it was cool. It was good for Noel to be in that first unit because based on matchups, Noel's not going to get dominated by the Spurs big man because the Spurs big man is not really a big guy like that. He's a guy that he'll take his mid-range jumpers and things of that nature. He's a good rim protector, but he's not really a big guy that's going to body you in the paint.
Right.
So that was a good matchup for Noel, and then he just have Mitch come with the second unit and dominate whoever the Spurs have down there. Then on top of that, like I said, Spurs not really a big team. Like there was a lot of mismatches down low in the paint. Mitch being bigger than whoever's guarding him. Then same thing with Julius Randle as well. Julius Randle had small guys on him pretty much all night, and Randle was able to take advantage of that as well. So the matches were really favorable for the Knicks tonight, where they can make that switch.
Right. I mean, tonight in general, this is the team that kind of built for the Knicks to beat, even though it makes me nervous because we've been playing up and down the competition all night. But, what really kills us are those teams who can hit high-volume threes. This is not a team that is a high-volume three-point shooting team. Devontae Murray himself is the leading scorer, the leader of this team. He's not really good at shooting three-pointers. And just even the coach's decision to have Alec Burks be in the starting lineup, Alec Burks is a lot taller than probably a lot of the point guards in the NBA. Probably matches up pretty good against Devontae Murray, who really didn't have a Devontae game tonight. So this was a pretty good matchup in general for these Knicks. A nice road win to get back on track.
Yeah, most definitely.
Word. And you know what? I want to talk about somebody else too recently. All right, man, Barrett. Barrett's been
Yes,
getting a lot.
Batman Barrett. Yes,
We gotta
yes.
do that. He's been getting this a lot of smack today, man. He's been getting a lot of smack, and a lot of it deserves. A lot of it deserved. He's been in a slump recently, but when Tibbs called him out, right, the last game, there's a few ways you can take that, right? Like usually you either rise to the occasion or you sink into a shell if you get called out. Us knowing who RJ Barrett is, he's a dude who seems to like the hard coaching and he likes to be called out. He's the type of player who probably plays better when he's mad than when he's happy.
Yep. And
So when he got called out, I was kind of like, I kind of foreseen a bigger game from RJ because he just know that eats away at him. So go ahead. I know you wanted to say something, Ryan.
yeah, man. And I also want to point that out as well because RJ Barrett deserves a lot of credit, and I think Mitch deserves a lot of credit as well because, like you said with RJ Barrett, like he was called out by his coach, and some players are divas where if the coach calls them out and points them out into the media or whatnot, they'll sink deeper into their shell and and they'll have an attitude and this and that. But RJ Barrett took that as constructive criticism, and he was like, you know what, I need to get back in the gym, I need to get my game back up, and he showed it tonight. 32 points, we hit a career high 7 threes, I think, in the game.
Yep, career
So
high 7, 8 from 3.
yeah, and Barrett showed, he had an all-rounded game tonight. He played well on the defensive end, and then on top of that, like not only was he shooting threes, he was also driving to the basket, getting easy baskets and things of that nature. So Barrett showed the full range of his game tonight, and I also want to give Mitch credit as well because
Yeah.
again, he got taken out of the starting lineup. Again, a guy who's a usual starter could look at that and be like, damn, my coach is giving up on me and this and that and sulk. But Mitch didn't sulk. Mitch was like, you know what? I was taken out of the starting lineup. I'm gonna do what I can, with the second unit and show that, I still got it. And he definitely proved his point tonight. So I think the fact that the Knicks have that type of tough mentality where it's like, even if their coach calls them out, they rise to the occasion. I think that's a very good positive going forward for the Knicks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Those two guys, when you see people get publicly criticized like that, you see how they respond. And it's obvious to me that both of those guys kind of played with a chip on their shoulder today, and that's what we need from this team. We need a team with a chip on their shoulder to get out of this hole. So kudos for those two guys. Also, again, Julius Randle. He seems to turn the quarter when it comes to the selfishness. Like he only took 2 shots in the first half. Took what the defense gave him. 8 assists on the night today. And really just the threes have been cutting down, and that's what's really been propelling his game. He's been going to the inside a lot more. But today the threes were dropping. He got going from the 3-point line for the first time in a while. And on the other side of the ball, I'm looking at the defense too. Very lackadaisical the game versus the Denver Nuggets. Today he stepped it up. And he had another complete game today. It's a big way to respond. I expected him to respond today because you can't have a game like he did yesterday against the Nuggets and then come out flat against the Spurs team when we need to win. So,
Yeah,
big up to
exactly.
Julius Randle.
Yeah, and I also want to throw this in about Julius Randle as well. I like the fact that he didn't force anything tonight. He was just like, you know what, my guys are scoring. Let me just, take a step back, let my guys score. And then when my team needed me, that's when I'll step up and get some buckets. I like the fact that he did that tonight. And matter of fact, like the Knicks have been stinking it up lately, but Julius Randle is probably the only guy who's been playing consistently well, even though the Knicks have been playing bad. So you got to give him credit, for that as well. He seems like he's been stepping up the last, 5-6 games or so.
No, I agree with you. At least on the offensive end, I feel like there's been a turning point for him on the offensive end. Defensively, that's waned a little bit from game to game, depending on the matchup. I do feel like he gets up for better matchups like the Nets or the Bucks. I do feel like he gets up for those games. The Nuggets, not so much, but good bounce back day today for Julius Randle. Also, man, and I also like this coach who's been really tinkering with the lineups. I saw Evan Fournier get pulled in the second quarter. He usually comes in and he gets his allotted minutes, and today he was like, not today. Evan Fournier is missing shots, pulled his plug. Emmanuel Quickly's getting more minutes. He played, did he play more minutes than Fournier? Yep.
Yeah,
26 minutes on the night for Emmanuel Quickly, 20 for Fournier. That's another guy I'm looking out for who's getting more respect and garnering more attention from the coach. Uh, really good game for Quickly and Derrick Rose as well, man. Really good win, solid win for tonight, man. Especially coming, you need this win for tomorrow. We playing the Pacers tomorrow, man. The
Yeah.
Pacers game is always a good game, and we need this win to propel us to get that win tomorrow.
Yeah, man, and right now I don't know if you heard the news, but Pacers look like they're planning for a rebuild as well. So the fact
Oh
that the
yeah,
Knicks, yeah, so the fact that the Knicks are facing a team that's in turmoil right now, the Knicks have to take that game. The Knicks have to take advantage of a team where guys don't know their future right now because if you listen to the news, they're saying that they're looking to trade Miles Turner, Sabonis, and LeVert. Like those three guys are on the trading block right now. So you're playing a team that you have guys on the roster where they don't know where they're going to end up within the
right.
next couple of months or so. So the Knicks have to take advantage and take it to the Pacers and get on a 2-game winning streak and get themselves back on track.
And I did that on purpose because I'm trying to I'm smoothing right into that segue, my friend. I already knew where I was going. All right, this is what I
Yep.
do. All right, especially considering Miles Turner it seemed like the Knicks had Miles Turner on their radar this summer. This is a guy who can hit threes, he can block shots. Not so much of a and he seems like he has a 40-point game this season because he can hit threes and block shots. And let's be real, he's been a lot healthier than some of our centers this season. So with that being said, first of all, before I even get into that, do you want any of those guys mentioned in the trade rumors? I'll start with that question.
It's tough because I don't think the Knicks have a need for LeVert. Like I would pass on LeVert, but Sabonis is, you look at Sabonis and you're like, Sabonis is a big man. He's a guaranteed double double. But again, like I don't see where Sabonis fits. Like the only way I see Sabonis fitting is if you get rid of Randall, because they're similar players in that
Right.
aspect. And it's like, do you really want to trade Randall for Sabonis? That's not really something that's going to propel the Knicks to like the next level, whatever the case may be. So I don't see Sabonis as really someone the Knicks should go after either. Miles Turner's the one that's intriguing because, if you look at the Knicks big men, like you said, the Knicks big men hasn't exactly been healthy. And Miles Turner, the fact that he's that threat from 3-point range and he
He's
can
burned
block
us.
shots. Yeah. He's definitely burned us too. On top of that, like Miles Turner's the one where it's like, okay, like this guy might really help the team. But if you're gonna go after Miles Turner, that pretty much means that you're giving up on Mitchell Robinson and you're thinking about going in a different direction. So the only guy I would really be looking at is Miles Turner out of those three. But even then, I'm not sure 100% if I would pull the trigger right now. Like I still have belief in Mitch, and I still have belief with the big men that we have at the moment. So at the moment, I'd stick to my guns and be like, I'm not making no move. But Miles Turner would intrigue me somewhat, though.
Yeah, like this is a tricky one because Miles has been on my radar for a while. I've always liked how he can fit next to Randall. Also considering Randall is not a pure 3-point shooter per se, and we already saw what Randall did versus the Hawks and how he was doubled. He was doubled all the time, and when he started to beat people off the dribble, he was met with resistance at the rim because there's always had a center who was there to block his shots. Miles Turner there, we can essentially play 5 out. We
Yeah.
can do 5 out like the '54 Knicks win squad that we had. When we had Rasheed Wallace playing the 5 in spots, we can essentially go 5 out and start to really punish these teams for trying to double Randall. It's just what happened. So that to me, that's really, really intriguing. Would I do it? I've been teetering more towards yes recently. I would like to give it an end of the year because I really want to see if Mitch can really put it together. Like he's been on the decline this year, but I understand why because he's missed a lot of games. He's gained a lot of weight. He recently dropped 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll have the chance to be quicker and be the Mitch that we think he can be. But that 3-point threat, man, that 3-point threat at that 5 spot, it's intriguing. And this season, what is he shooting this season? 39% from 3 this season, Miles Turner.
Yeah,
Seven,
that's pretty good for a big man right there.
yeah. 7 rebounds, 39% from 3 this season. And looking at his contract, let's see. Pulling up his contract right now. He is owed $17.5 million on his contract for 2021 and 2022. So, it's more of a wonder what they would want back. It's more of what would they want back. Did the Knicks have a kind of a little bit of a glut at guard? So I can, like I've always said, I feel like we've gotten a bunch of guys here so we can make a bigger move later.
Yeah.
Because we have like Derrick Rose, Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, Grimes, who's already getting minutes. Like I do feel like we have pieces to actually kind of make a move. Will it be for? Would I do it for Miles Turner though? I'm not sure if that's the move I would do it for.
Yeah, man. Like, I think, I read comments and everything, and I see a lot of Knicks fans really trying to pull for the Knicks to make that Miles Turner trade or whatever the case may be. But you have to keep in mind that I think what the front office is trying to do, I think, like you said, the front office is trying to really make that huge move.
Right.
So it's like, do you want to sacrifice some of those assets that you could put in a bigger trade for a player that's going to really make a difference for Miles, and instead put
Right.
some of those pieces in for Miles Turner? Doesn't really make a lot of sense. And at the moment, I'm just reluctant to give up on Mitch because, like, I've seen Mitch in better days. So
You're
it's
right.
like I don't want to give up on Mitch yet. Like you said, I want to see how he progresses throughout the season and see if he can get back to where he was last season. So at the moment, I'm like, keep the assets that the Knicks have. See if anybody else that can really like turn the team around is available later on, and then he can think about a trade. But I don't think I want to waste some of those assets on bringing Miles Turner here.
Yeah, I kind of with you on that regard. I see the Rock Obama shots. He follows me on YouTube. He says, "Don't sleep on Brock Eiler and Ninja P might have something big cooking." Yeah, you're right about that. We had the capologist here in Ninja P. Always working in the background, so you never know what can happen. No, I agree with you there. I definitely agree with you. I see. He also says, "I still think Mitch could be a defensive player of the year if he can stay healthy," and that's a big if, man. When he hit the floor today, bro.
Oh, I was so nervous, man. I was like, oh no.
I was like, this can't be life right now.
Oh man.
Like this man is always on the edge of death when it comes to his injuries. I swear. I mean,
For
he's
real.
fighting though. He always comes back. He always comes back.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, listen. They might be in sell mode right now. I would like to wait till the end of the year to really get a good evaluation. But they might be in sell mode, so you don't know. He might be going by the end of the trade deadline. But we'll see though. Like, and you kind of treat players like stock, right? It really sucks to trade a player when the stock is at its lowest. And right now, Mitch's stock, like, is not as high as it used to. So I feel like if you start to trade him now, you're probably getting the best return on him at this moment because you haven't really seen the best of Mitch this season. So at the very least, you wait to see if he's playing well to pull the trigger. And so you don't have to trade him plus other assets to get whatever you want. That's the way I pretty much think of it. But at the same time, I'm still a Mitch fan. So it's a rough one. It's a rough one for me, though.
Yeah, it is.
But
It's tempting, but I think Knicks fans have to keep the bigger picture in mind. I think
it's
nah,
on the table for me. It's on.
yeah,
It's not a hard no for me. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a hard no for me.
yeah.
It's on the table. He's a more of a scoring threat. He gives you defense. He spreads the floor. Might not be as much as a defensive anchor as Mitch is, but he still blocks a lot of shots.
Yeah, he
And
does.
but if Mitch is quicker, gets his quickness back, he can be just as effective on the defensive end as Miles Turner has been this season. So I don't know, man. It's not a complete no for me.
Yeah, it's not a complete no, but like I said, I feel like the Knicks are trying to wait until that big name really becomes available that can turn the team around. So Like I said, like you said, if the Knicks were to really trade for Miles Turner now, with Mitch's stock being low, that can't be a straight swap or whatever the case may be. And then on top of that, they have to match salary. So it's like
Right.
it's going to be other assets going with Mitch if they're to make that trade. So, like I said, like I'm thinking big picture. So I would like it wouldn't be a hard no, but it's not something that I'm jumping at where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make this trade ASAP.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm with you there. All right. Yeah. Salute to the guys who's watching this show. It's kind of hard to read the comments, so sorry if I didn't read all the comments. But shout out to everybody who's here. Shout out to Echelon. I saw uh, Alessandor here earlier. Shout out to you. Black Slather. Shout out to you. Sandy Dye Hutch, everybody else is rocking with the show. We do these post game shows on YouTube. I actually started out doing it on IG before we moved to YouTube, but now computer was having issues, so we did it on IG Live today, and hopefully you enjoy it. It will be up on YouTube later, so you can watch it in its entirety. All right, but if you're new to the Instagram page, please subscribe to this page and watch out for us on YouTube as we do live post games. More interaction with fans. Actually, you can call in and talk to us and talk about whatever point you have about the game or whatever Knicks news is coming out for this week. All right, but that's our show. Unless somebody wants to come in the chat and have as a comment, because I never actually used the 3-person talk on feature on IG before. If somebody wants to pop in and talk some Knicks with us, you can definitely do that. But if not, we can wrap it up right now and definitely follow us on youtube.com/The Nick of Time Show. Links are in the bio. And subscribe to our Instagram right now. I also follow my boy Ryan G over here.
Yes, sir. I mean, the Instagram handle is definitely there, so you can follow if you want. And
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, Sir G is chilling. Sir, Ryan G's in the building. You know what it is.
Exactly. And shout out to eWorkaholic. Thanks for the follow. All right, all right, all right. All right, so that's our show, man. IG, no callers, short show. That's the way it works, I guess.
Yes, sir.
But I'll be working on my computer. I feel like my computer is not actually starting to boot up now, finally. But tomorrow we'll be having a show after the Pacers game, so definitely check us out tomorrow. I'll be posting on IG, on Twitter, so you can follow us on Twitter at the Nick of Time Show, at VKOT Show on Twitter. I'm sorry. TheNickofTimeShow.com is our website, and you can also follow us here on Nick of Time Show on Instagram if you want to follow us. All right. Shout out to make Knicks great again. Shout out to you, sir. I saw you walk into the room on YouTube like a few days ago or last week, and I shouted you out after the flow of the conversation died out. Shout out to you, man. Always thanks for your support for sure. All right. Oh yeah. But Ryan G, as always, man, tell them where they can find you, sir.
Well, like I said, you can find me at Sir G is chill. Like I said, it's right there, in the handles or whatnot, so you can follow me right there. Sir G is chilling.
All right, Sir G is chilling. All right.
Yes, sir. And you can also follow me on Twitter at RyanGKOT.
All right, that's what's up. That is our show. Short one. Uploading on YouTube tomorrow morning. We out of here.
Peace.